Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt like you're running on a financial treadmill, working harder and harder, but never really getting ahead? Maybe you're tired of the constant grind, the stress of living paycheck to paycheck, and the feeling that you're always just one bad day away from a financial disaster. What if I told you there's a different way, a path to financial freedom that doesn't require you to burn yourself out, to hustle until you have nothing left? This isn't another get-rich-quick scheme. This is about building a life where your money works for you, not the other way around. It's about creating a future where you have the freedom to choose, to rest, and to truly live. If you're tired of feeling powerless, if you're ready to declare that you deserve more than just survival, I want you to do something right now. I want you to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and join a movement with me. In the comments below, I want you to type this powerful declaration: I deserve financial peace. This isn't just a comment, it's a promise to yourself. It's a turning point. It's the moment you decide to stop accepting stress as your normal and start building a life of peace and abundance. Type it, own it, and let's begin this journey together. I've been in this game for over 2 decades, and I've seen it all. The crashes, the booms, the mistakes, and the triumphs. What I've learned is that the most successful people aren't always the hardest workers. They are the smartest thinkers. As Warren Buffett famously said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Today I'm sharing 7 strategies that will help you achieve financial success without the constant grind. These are the secrets of what I call the lazy achiever, someone who leverages strategy over sweat. We are starting with number 1. Automate your life to eliminate decision fatigue. Think about your average day. How many little decisions do you have to make? What to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which email to answer first, what route to take to work. Each of those small choices is a tiny drain on your mental battery. It's like having 100 small cracks in a dam. By the end of the day, you have no energy left for the big, important decisions, like whether to start that side hustle or how to invest that extra money. This isn't just about being efficient. It's about protecting your most valuable resource, your willpower. Andrew Carnegie, the great industrialist, wasn't just working hard, he was building systems. He said, the first thing to do is to find out what you want to do. The second thing is to find the best way of doing it. The third thing is to do it. He wasn't just talking about building steel mills, he was talking about building a life. So how do we do this? We automate the mundane. Let me give you a personal story. For years I struggled with saving. I'd tell myself, I'll save a few $100s at the end of the month. But by the time the end of the month came, something always came up. A car repair, an unexpected dinner out, a new gadget I needed. I felt like a failure. The truth is, I was putting myself in a position to fail. I was relying on willpower, and willpower is a finite resource. Then I discovered automation. I set up an automatic transfer for $500 to go from my checking account to my savings account the day after my paycheck arrived. I never saw the money. It was gone before I could even think about spending it. At first, it felt like a sacrifice. But then something amazing happened. I just adapted. Over time, that $500 a month became $6,000 a year, then $12,000, and it just kept compounding. The lazy part, I did the work once. The achieving part, the system did the rest. This is what a true lazy achiever understands. You don't rely on being disciplined every single day. You build a system that makes discipline automatic. Let's get practical. Automate your bills and savings. This is non-negotiable. Set up automatic payments for your rent, mortgage, utilities, and credit cards. Then set up an automatic transfer to a high-yield savings account or a retirement fund. Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing, taught us that the most successful investors aren't just smart, they are disciplined. Automation is your tool for discipline. Simplify your daily life. Have you ever heard of a uniform? People like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg wore the same thing every day. It wasn't about fashion. It was about eliminating a tiny decision. What if you did the same with your lunch or your gym routine? You're not being boring. You're freeing up mental bandwidth for the things that really matter. Use technology as your personal assistant. I have an app that tracks my spending for me. I don't have to manually input every single coffee or lunch. It's an automated, lazy way to stay on top of my budget. The numbers are always there for me, without any effort. Think about the apps on your phone. Are they making your life easier or more complicated? Are they a tool or a distraction? Think about how much energy you spend on small decisions every single day. What if you could take all that energy and pour it into your dreams, your creative projects, your family? This isn't just about making more money. It's about designing a life where you feel in control. It's about waking up and knowing that your finances are on autopilot, giving you the peace of mind to focus on what brings you joy. What is one small decision you can automate this week? Just one. Is it setting up an automatic bill payment? Or maybe just deciding on your breakfast for the whole week? Remember, the goal isn't to work harder. The goal is to build a machine that works for you. And the first step is to protect your mental energy from the daily grind of mundane decisions. That, my friends, is the first step toward financial peace. And that brings us to number 2. Leverage high-impact, low-effort habits. Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably tried to make a big change in your life. Maybe you decided you were going to save $1,000 a month, or work out for an hour every single day. For the first week, you're on fire, you're motivated, you're a hero. But by week 2 or 3, life gets in the way. A late night at work, a sick child, or just plain exhaustion. And then you feel like you've failed. Does that sound familiar? The truth is, huge, drastic changes rarely last. They're like trying to push a boulder up a hill with just your bare hands. It's exhausting, and eventually gravity wins. What if there was a different way? What if you could achieve massive results with almost no effort? The secret lies in a concept that Albert Einstein called the most powerful force in the universe: compound interest. Most of us only think of compound interest in terms of money, but it works with everything. Your health, your knowledge, and your habits. The key is to make tiny, almost ridiculously small, investments in yourself every single day. I call these micro-investments. Let me give you a story. Years ago, I wanted to get back into reading. I had this huge list of books I should read, but I never had the time. My to-do list was a mile long, and reading felt like a luxury I couldn't afford. Then I heard a quote from John D. Rockefeller: "I would rather earn 1% off the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts." This got me thinking, how could I apply that to my own life? I decided to try something radical. I committed to reading just 1 page of a book every night before bed. Just one. Not a chapter, not 20 pages, just one. It felt so small it was almost silly. But here's what happened. Some nights I read just the 1 page and went to sleep. But most nights that 1 page turned into 2, then 5, then a whole chapter. The effort to start was so small that my brain didn't put up a fight. Over a year, those single pages added up to over a dozen books. This is the power of a tiny habit. It's not about being a superhuman. It's about making it so easy to start that you can't say no. The 5-minute rule. If a task takes less than 5 minutes, do it immediately. This is one of the most powerful tricks I've ever learned. It's how you tackle those small chores that pile up and create a mountain of stress. A quick email, putting away a dish, or paying a small bill. Do it now and prevent future overwhelm. Daily micro-investments. What's something you can do for 5 minutes a day that will pay off for years? Maybe it's learning 5 new words in a language, doing 10 push-ups, or spending 5 minutes organizing your digital files. These are small actions, but they have a powerful compounding effect. As Robert Kiyosaki says, it's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. Your habits are your greatest financial asset. Create tiny habits that stack. The best habits are the ones you stack on top of an existing one. Want to start flossing? Tell yourself you'll floss 1 tooth every time you brush your teeth. Want to save more? Set a reminder to move $5 into a savings account every time you get a notification from your banking app. What's one small tiny habit you can start today that takes less than 5 minutes? Just one. Don't aim to be a hero. Aim to be consistent, because the true path to wealth and success isn't a single heroic sprint. It's the gentle, lazy rhythm of small, consistent actions that compound into an unstoppable force. It's about being a strategist, not a laborer. It's about making your money and your habits work for you while you sleep. That brings us to number 3. Outsource what drains you. Let's be honest. Some tasks in life are just soul-crushing. Maybe it's doing your taxes, cleaning the house, or dealing with a mountain of administrative paperwork. For some, it might be the tedious process of editing a video or building a website from scratch. You look at these tasks, and you just feel your energy drain away before you even begin. You procrastinate, you stress, and the work just piles up. Does that resonate with you? Many people believe they have to do everything themselves to save money. We've been taught that hard work means doing every single thing with your own 2 hands. But I want to introduce you to a different concept, a powerful financial mindset. Your time is more valuable than money. Your energy is a limited resource. Every hour you spend on a task you hate, or a task that someone else could do faster and better, is an hour you're not spending on something that truly moves you forward. The great industrialist John D. Rockefeller understood this perfectly. He wasn't out there drilling every oil well himself. He was building systems and delegating work. He was leveraging the time and skills of others so he could focus on the strategic, high-impact decisions that would build his empire. His philosophy was simple: focus on what you do best and delegate the rest. This isn't about being lazy. It's about being a strategist. It's about buying back your time. Let me give you a personal example. For years, I was managing my own social media. I'd spend hours trying to design graphics, write captions, and schedule posts. It was a massive time sink, and I wasn't even very good at it. I was a financial expert trying to be a graphic designer. It was a huge source of frustration, and it prevented me from creating more of the content that you're watching right now. So I finally made a choice. I hired a freelancer on a gig platform to handle all of it. The cost seemed high at first, a few $100s a month. But here's what happened. I got my time back. The hours I used to spend on social media, I now spend on researching new investment strategies, creating more valuable videos, and connecting with my community. My business grew, my income increased, and my stress plummeted. In the end, outsourcing that one task was one of the most profitable decisions I ever made. So how can you start? Delegate what you dread. What is that one task on your to-do list that you keep putting off? The one that fills you with dread. It could be anything, from organizing your finances to planning a trip. If it's not a core part of your mission or passion, and it drains your energy, it's a prime candidate for outsourcing. Use gig platforms strategically. Platforms like Upwork or Fiverr are incredible tools. You don't have to hire a full-time employee. You can hire someone for a single specific project. Need a website designed? Hire a freelancer. Need a document transcribed? There are people for that. You are leveraging a global talent pool to solve your problems. Buy back your time. View every outsourcing decision as an investment. Ask yourself, is my time worth more than what I'm paying someone else to do this task? For a financial planner, the answer is almost always yes. My time is best spent on high-level financial strategy and helping my clients achieve their goals, not on bookkeeping. What is one task you could outsource or delegate this week that would give you back a few precious hours of your time? Think about it. Do you really need to do everything yourself? Remember, the goal is not to be busy. The goal is to be effective. The greatest wealth builders in history understood that leverage is far more powerful than labor. By strategically letting go of what drains you, you make space for what empowers you. That is a foundational principle of building a life of financial freedom. That brings us to number 4. Use the power of environment to stay on track. Have you ever walked into a coffee shop and suddenly felt more productive, or sat down at a cluttered desk and felt your energy just vanish? That's not a coincidence. Your environment is a silent, powerful force shaping your behavior every single day. Whether you realize it or not, we're often told to rely on willpower, but willpower is a limited resource. Your environment, however, is a constant. It can be a relentless motivator or a constant source of friction. Think about the great entrepreneurs and innovators. They weren't just brilliant, they were masters of their environment. The simplicity of Steve Jobs' office wasn't a quirk. It was a deliberate choice to remove distractions and focus his mind on what mattered most. He understood a profound truth. Your surroundings either support your goals or sabotage them. This principle is what I call designing your lazy success. It's about making the right choices so easy that you don't even have to think about them. It's about making your environment do the motivating for you. Let me give you a personal story. For years, I struggled with my morning routine. I wanted to start my day with a financial review, checking the markets, reading a report, and planning my day. But every morning, my phone was right there on the nightstand, and the first thing I'd do was scroll through social media or the news. An hour would disappear, and I'd feel frustrated and behind before the day even began. Then I made a simple change. I started charging my phone in another room, far away from my bed. When my alarm went off, I had to physically get up, walk across the house to turn it off. By that point, I was already out of bed. The first thing I saw was a clean, organized desk with my computer ready to go. The friction of the bad habit scrolling was removed, and the path to the good habit financial planning was clear. This tiny, lazy act of changing my environment completely transformed my mornings, and in turn my productivity. So how can you apply this to your own life? Design your space for success. Look at your desk, your living room, or your kitchen. Is it a place that inspires action or breeds distraction? If you want to start a side hustle, create a dedicated workspace, even if it's just a corner of a room. Remove clutter. Make it a sanctuary for focused work. If you want to eat healthier, put healthy snacks front and center and hide the junk food. Remove friction from good habits. We're all human. We'll always choose the path of least resistance. So make the path of least resistance the right one. Want to save money on coffee? Set up your coffee machine the night before, so it's ready to go. Want to exercise? Lay out your workout clothes. The great Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, once said, "The very important thing you should have is patience. Part of that patience is building an environment where success is the default, not an uphill battle. Let your surroundings do the motivating. Use visual cues. Put a picture of your dream vacation on your desk to remind you why you're saving. Write down your financial goals and tape them to your mirror. These aren't just feel-good exercises. They're subtle, powerful reminders that bypass your conscious mind and reinforce your goals. What is one small thing in your environment you can change today to make a good habit easier and a bad habit harder? Don't wait for motivation to strike. Build a system that makes success an inevitable outcome. Your environment is your ally. Let it work for you. By sculpting the world around you, you're not just changing your habits, you're changing your destiny. If you're getting value from this video and want to see more content like this, please hit the like button and smash the subscribe button. It means the world to me, and it really helps the channel grow. I'm on a mission to hit 100,000 subscribers, and with your support, I know we can get there. Now that you've liked and subscribed, let's continue with our discussion. And now for number 5. Make one bold move that creates ripple effects. In our culture of constant effort and endless to-do lists, we often feel like we have to do a million small things to get ahead. We fill our days with busy work, confusing motion with progress. We're a generation of hustlers grinding away. But what if I told you there's a better, lazier way to achieve massive results? It's not about doing more, it's about doing the one right thing that changes the game. This idea is at the heart of the lazy achiever philosophy. Instead of trying to push 1,000 tiny dominoes, you find the single big one that will knock all the others over. As Benjamin Graham, the mentor to Warren Buffett, once said, an investment operation is one which, upon thorough analysis, promises safety of principal and an adequate return. Operations not meeting these requirements are speculative. This quote is not just about stocks, it's about life. A bold strategic move is an investment, not a gamble. It promises a significant return for a single effort. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine, an aspiring artist. For years, she was stuck in a creative rut. She spent her days making 100 small paintings, trying to get noticed on social media, but she felt like she was getting nowhere. She was working hard, but she wasn't making progress. I told her to stop. I told her to put all her energy into a single high-impact project, creating one large, beautiful mural in a public space. It was a huge undertaking, but it was a single bold move. She secured a spot in a local community center. For weeks, she poured all her energy into it, but it was one project, one focus. When the mural was finished, it was incredible. It was a single powerful statement. The ripple effects were immediate and massive. People started taking photos of it. The local news did a story on her. She got 3 new commissions in 1 week. That single mural did more for her career than 100 small paintings ever could. She stopped being busy and started being successful. So what is the bold move for you? Start a conversation that opens doors. Maybe you've been thinking about a new career, a side business, or a partnership. Instead of spending weeks on research and planning, your bold move could be a single email or phone call to someone you admire. One conversation could give you the insight you need, a mentor or even a job offer. That one action can unlock a dozen opportunities. Launch a simple product. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Your bold move could be to launch a minimal viable product. It could be a simple ebook, a template you created, or a short online course. The goal is to get it out there, get feedback, and start the process. This single launch can create your first income stream and provide the momentum you need to build a real business. Master a single skill. Instead of trying to be a generalist who knows a little bit of everything, what if you became an expert in one highly valuable specific skill? It could be public speaking, copywriting, or video editing. That single skill becomes your lever. It's the one thing you can use to create leverage in your career or business. As the saying goes, give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. That single bold skill can be your lever. What is one bold high-impact move you could make in the next 30 days that would create a ripple effect in your financial life? Don't think about 1,000 small steps. Think about the one big leap that will land you in a completely new place. This is about courage, not just effort. It's about being a strategic creator of value, not just a consumer of tasks. By making one bold move, you can move from a state of constant stressful effort to one of effortless continuous achievement. That brings us to number 6. Tap into lazy-friendly income streams. For decades, the financial world has told us that the only way to earn a living is to trade our time for money. We work a job for 40 hours a week, and in exchange, we get a paycheck. It's a reliable but ultimately limited model. The problem is that your time is a finite resource. No matter how hard you work, there are only so many hours in a day. As a young man, I felt this frustration deeply. I knew I couldn't work 100 hours a week for the rest of my life and still have a life. I needed a different way. I needed to build a financial life where I could get paid even when I was sleeping, traveling, or just enjoying a weekend with my family. This isn't a fantasy. It's the core principle of passive income. The most successful people in the world understand that true wealth is not about earning a paycheck. It's about building assets that generate income for you. As Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says, "The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them." This is the ultimate lazy strategy. Let's break this down. Passive income doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you front-load the work. You put in a significant amount of effort at the beginning to create something that generates revenue on its own with minimal ongoing maintenance. Digital products, your 21st century asset. Think about the knowledge you have. What is something you're good at that other people would pay to learn? Maybe you're an expert at cooking, gardening, or a particular software program. You could create an ebook, a series of video tutorials, or a digital template. You put in the work once to create the product. Once it's complete, it can be sold an infinite number of times without you having to do any more work. That's the power of leverage. Affiliate marketing. This is one of the laziest, most effective ways to earn income. You simply recommend products or services you already love and use. When someone buys through your unique link, you earn a commission. It's not about hard selling. It's about providing genuine value and sharing what you find useful. You create a piece of content, a review, a blog post, a YouTube video that includes the link. The content lives on the internet forever, and it can generate income for you long after you've created it. Royalties and licensing. This might sound intimidating, but it's simpler than you think. If you're a creative person, this is a gold mine. You could write a book, create a song, or design a logo. Once your creative work is out there, you can earn royalties every time it's used or sold. Imagine earning money from a song you wrote 10 years ago, or a book you published 5 years ago. This is the epitome of set it up once, earn forever. Think about the time you spend on your hobbies. Could you turn one of them into a lazy-friendly income stream? Maybe you're great at organizing and could sell a digital template for decluttering. Or you're a fantastic cook and could create a small ebook of your best recipes. The goal here isn't to replace your job overnight. It's to build a small, reliable stream of income that adds up over time. It's about building a financial safety net and eventually a path to true financial freedom. What is one passive income idea that you could start working on in your spare time? Think about the knowledge and skills you already have. You have more to offer than you realize. And now we arrive at the final and most crucial principle, number 7. Think like a strategist, not a hustler. We live in a world that glorifies the hustle. We see social media posts of people working from 4 a.m. grinding every single day. And we're told that this constant, tireless effort is the only path to success. But I have to ask you, does that sound like a life of freedom? Does it sound sustainable? This hustle culture often leads to burnout, stress, and ironically, very little progress. Because being busy is not the same as being productive. A hustler focuses on labor, how many hours they can put in, how much they can endure. A strategist, on the other hand, focuses on leverage. They ask, what is the smallest amount of effort I can apply to get the biggest possible result? This is the core difference between working hard and working smart. It's the difference between a life of exhaustion and a life of effortless abundance. The great industrialist and philanthropist, Andrew Carnegie, famously said, "The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled." He wasn't talking about physical strength or long hours. He was talking about the power of the mind, the ability to think strategically and make fewer, better decisions. Let me give you a final personal story. When I was starting out in my career, I was a classic hustler. I would say yes to every project, work late nights, and take on every new client. I was busy, but I wasn't happy. I was making money, but I had no life. I was spreading myself thin, and the quality of my work began to suffer. I was a laborer, not a leader. Then I had a wake-up call. I realized I was focusing on the wrong things. I sat down and asked myself a simple but powerful question. What are the 20% of my activities that generate 80% of my results? I discovered that most of my income and impact came from just a few key activities: high-level client consultations, in-depth market research, and creating high-quality content like this video. The other 80% of my time was spent on low-impact tasks, answering every email immediately, doing my own bookkeeping, and taking on projects that didn't align with my goals. I made a bold choice. I started saying no. I said no to low-paying clients, no to unnecessary meetings, and no to tasks I could outsource. My workload went down, but my income and happiness went up. I became a strategist. I started focusing on leverage, not labor. Focus on leverage, not labor. Leverage is about using your skills, your knowledge, or your capital to multiply your results. For example, learning one new software shortcut or a single financial principle can save you hundreds of hours of work over your lifetime. That's leverage. Plan smarter, not harder. Before you jump into a project, take the time to create a simple plan. As Benjamin Franklin said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. A few hours of strategic planning can save you weeks of wasted effort. Use mental models to make fewer, better decisions. Mental models are frameworks for thinking. The Pareto principle, the 80-20th rule, is one example. Another is the first principles thinking made famous by Elon Musk, breaking down a problem into its most fundamental truths. Don't just follow what everyone else is doing. Use a strategic framework to find the most direct path to your goal. This is the ultimate secret of the lazy achiever. It's not about being a human doing. It's about being a human being. It's about designing a life where your mind works for you, where your systems work for you, and where you have the freedom to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This isn't just a financial lesson. This is a life lesson. The ability to achieve without burning out is the key to a rich and meaningful life. Remember, the goal isn't to work until you die. The goal is to build a life where you don't have to. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this declaration with me. You deserve financial peace. Now go out there and build it. I'll see you next time.